Man, let me tell you, Bucharest can be an overwhelming city when trying to figure out what to see and do. But one of the best ways to get your bearings and some cool info in a new city is doing a tour with a local. Big shout out to Bucharest Tours for an amazing time. There is so much history around every corner of Bucharest and unique stories that only a local can tell. And Daniela took us through all of them and even showed us the history of the currency. If you're ever in town, she is the one to contact. The link will be in the description.
Now, of course, if you have a friend that is a local, that is a plus. And lucky for us, we have an awesome friend that took us to this really nice restaurant called Caracubere. The food was amazing. The architecture and the history of more than 130 years is incredible. And the live music was just on point. Now, any meal is always better when you're with friends. So thank you, Ana Maria, for spending time with us and for helping us put on some extra weight with all the food and the snacks that you gave us. Romanian snack video is available just for our members and patrons.
Now, the other reason we were in Romania was to house sit for someone, as you might be well aware from our social media posts. Follow us. However, Hugh, the gentleman we house sat for, has such an amazing travel life that we had to talk about it.
You've just got to go for it and just not try and be too scared about stuff, and just, like you say, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I've always had that sort of mentality. I took a one-way flight to Bangkok when I was 24, and my parents were like, how long are you going for? Friends were like, how long are you going for? And I was like, because everybody does that year, don't they? They do that. I'm taking a year out. I'm having a gap year. I've hated that, right? I just think.
I've seen some of your photos, and from the photos I've seen, I'm like, oh no, this is a crazy white guy. This guy's been everywhere. Your photos right there in the hallway. I'm like, is he feeding coyotes?
Yeah, no, hyenas.
Like, hyenas?
Hyenas in Ethiopia.
I'm like, oh
no, wild hyenas as well. No, but that whole gap year, it's like you take a gap. You're taking a gap from what? You have such an amazing time that you have to take a gap out of a mundane, boring life? Mm-hmm. Well, if that gap is so brilliant, why didn't you just carry on with
Exactly.
But yeah, so when I took a one-way flight in 94, people were like, how long? I was like, I don't know, 3 months? If it's rubbish, I'll come back. If it's not, I'll stay. And then I was away for like 5 years.
Now, what is even more impressive is the impact and relationship he built with a family with an autistic child as a teacher in Romania.
It feels so good to see that someone really sees us as we are. And
genuinely.
Yes.
And I can tell you that from our experience. We have met Hugh for one day, but we've been talking for almost a month. We weren't supposed to come here. He had somebody from Washington coming here.
Yeah.
And so we were the second option. But I can tell you that from the moment that we started talking, one of the first things he talked about was you guys. And it was so impactful for us because we didn't tell him that we had an autistic kid. We never mentioned that, but he did. And he was like, you know, it would be really meaningful for me if you meet my neighbors. I really love them. David is such an amazing kid and they love Chopa. So for me, it would be really good if you take the time to meet them. And then he told us a story and we were almost crying. I mean, Lilas is crying right now behind the camera. But it was so touching for us because we know how hard it is. We know how hard it is to have an autistic kid. We don't know how hard it is here in Romania, right? We are lucky, I think, because America is a little bit more advanced in that sense. And we have heard stories from Turkish parents and now from you. And it's really tough in countries that are not developed to understand the spectrum where these kids live.
I'm not talking only about the impossibility of doing something for them.
Exactly.
I'm just talking about understanding.
Just understanding, exactly.
Because if we would have had understanding, our life would have been more easier. I went to this meeting and it was Mr. Roberts there, Mr. Hugh Roberts, as a maths teacher, maths and geography teacher. And they were about, I don't know, I think they already had 2 weeks of school I introduced myself and I talked about David for 10 minutes or something like that. And it was Mr. Roberts who was just saying, well, David is a great lad. With his
accent.
David is a great lad. I like him very much. He already is asking me a lot of questions. I have no problem with him. I love him. And then he just told me that David is asking him a lot of questions about his travels, and it was a fantastic connection point between him and David, because they both love traveling, and Hugh did a lot, and most certainly through his traveling he has become this very open person that he is willing to accept anything, and he started a beautiful relationship with David.
It's travel that sort of connected us, really. I was told before I even met him that he was, you know, he's autistic and he loves travel, and then as soon as I met him, he started asking about my travels, and to be honest with you, I've never had anybody who's been so interested in my travels. Most people are not, to be honest with you. 70, you know, it depends. But he's like, just question after question about where I've been and what this and that, and it was like, wow, it's amazing how interested he is. So I mean, you know, I like talking about my travels and stuff, and he's been, and then just how supportive his parents are as well. His parents have just been so kind to me. They look after Chopper when I go away. They've been amazing. But with David, yeah, I guess it's more the connection with travel. He's not such a mathematician. He's not really too interested in maths, but the travel part of it has been, yeah, that's why we connected so well, I think.
I don't know what are his reasons, wherever they are. He's giving us so much love and so many reasons to wake up with a smile, you know. And I just hope to have him around many more years.
Now guys, you have to check out this beautiful project that David is working on called Faces of Autism, where he shares these beautiful photos and stories of other individuals to help raise awareness of autism. And after doing that, be sure to follow this amazing kid on Instagram. Now after all of this, we had a plan to rent a car and do a road trip through Romania, but that didn't happen because, actually, let's save that story for the next video.
Before we tell you what the hell happened, we had to take a shot of Palinka. Yeah, that bad.
First time trying it, right?
Yeah, first time trying. And that bad. Did I say that bad? That bad.